Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well out there and staying safe because we've got quite a situation unfolding across the United States right now. A pretty sizable storm system is currently sweeping through a huge chunk of the country. And honestly, things have just become a lot more concerning over the last several hours. Over the next 48 hours, we're going to be dealing with a pretty intense severe weather threat stretching from the central and southern plains right up through the Midwest and into the Mississippi River Valley. We're talking about the potential for some seriously damaging winds, hail that could range from large to very large in size, and yes, even a few tornadoes. There's even a shot at a couple of those tornadoes being on the stronger side if the conditions line up just right. If you want to support me quickly, press the subscribe button, like the video, and write your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for your support. Now, to add to all that, we've got a ton of rainfall expected to move through areas that are already dealing with pretty saturated ground. That means flooding is going to be a real concern, especially in spots like Missouri and Arkansas, where the ground just can't take much more water right now. So in today's video, I want to break this all down for you. I know what's happening across the country right now, where the biggest risks are, when things are likely to happen, and what you need to be prepared for as this system continues to move through over the next several days. Let's kick things off by taking a look at what's going on out there right now. As I'm recording this, we've already got a messy setup of showers and thunderstorms stretching from Missouri and Illinois back into parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. And unfortunately, because of how our overall atmospheric setup is behaving with a sort of semi-stalled out system, we're expecting these areas to keep seeing rounds of rain and storms training over the same spots through the day today. It's one of those days where the rain just keeps falling, one round after another, and it's happening in places that honestly don't need another drop. Now, while all of that is happening, the area I'm really going to be keeping a close eye on is back across Texas. That's going to be our primary trouble zone as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Places in Texas, along with parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas, are going to be at risk for storms capable of producing damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. But here's the thing. It's going to depend a lot on how quickly the rain and storm activity that's happening right now clears out. If things stabilize too much because of that ongoing rain, it could suppress the severe weather risk a little. But if we can get some clearing and destabilization this afternoon, it's game on. And just to give you a sense of how widespread this setup is, this big area of moisture is stretching all the way from the Pacific and the Gulf, pushing up through the plains and into the Ohio Valley and Northeast. It's a massive system, and it's going to be fueling not only severe weather, but also heavy rain and flood concerns over the next couple of days. Now let's get into more detail about what to expect for the severe weather potential over the next couple of days. Starting with today, the Storm Prediction Center has outlined a very long and narrow corridor of severe weather risk stretching from New York all the way back down into Texas. It's not often you see a risk area that stretches for more than 1,000 miles like this. Most of the region is under marginal risk, but we do have slight risk set up for parts of southern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, southeast and eastern Oklahoma, and a big swath of central and north Texas. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that risk gets bumped up later today. By the time you're watching this video, we could very well have an enhanced risk area added to the mix, particularly around Abilene and just outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's where we might be dealing with some significant hailstorms and possibly a few tornadoes. And a lot of that will hinge on what happens this morning with the leftover rain and storms. Speaking of hail, today's main concern is going to be just that. I'm talking significant hail, potentially up to apple size or even softball sized in a storm or two that's big enough to damage vehicles, smash windows, and shred plants and crops. If you live in these areas, especially in Texas and Oklahoma, you'll definitely want to get your car in a garage if you can and bring in anything that could get damaged. It's one of those days where scattered significant hailstorms are definitely on the table. As for the tornado risk today, it's most elevated in southeast Oklahoma, western Arkansas, and back into north and central Texas. It's not a slam dunk forecast, though, kind of a similar situation to what we had yesterday. So we had a 5 tornado risk in Oklahoma yesterday, and it didn't really produce much other than hail and wind. Today could go either way, too, depending on how things play out over the next several hours. So we should have a better idea by late morning and early afternoon. So keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook pages I'll have updates posted there as we get more data in. The day could either end up being a hail-heavy day with not much in the way of tornadoes, or if some surface-based supercells develop, we could potentially be looking at a small-scale tornado outbreak. It's going to come down to what those storms do later this afternoon. Now, as we look ahead to Sunday, the RIC shifts further east and our storm system starts to intensify. We've already got a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather in place for parts of Missouri, Illinois, and Arkansas. That includes areas just outside of St. Louis, places like Jefferson City, Springfield, and down into Little Rock, Arkansas. There's also a slight risk extending from St. Louis back through Texarkana and near Shreveport, Louisiana. The main concern tomorrow is going to shift more toward damaging winds. We're currently looking at the potential for scattered to numerous wind gusts between 60 and 70 MP, mainly during the afternoon and early evening. Hail risk won't be as high tomorrow as it's expected to be today, probably more in the golf ball sized range at worst. Still worth watching, but not the monster hail we might see today. And the tornado risk tomorrow is a bit more elevated than today's. Right now, there's a teeny chance of tornadoes in parts of central and southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. It's worth noting that it's not a hatched risk yet, which would indicate a higher potential for strong tornadoes, but I wouldn't rule out the possibility of a strong 1 or 2 if we get the right ingredients in place. Again, it's going to come down to how the small-scale atmospheric features behave tomorrow. All right, so let's talk about timing. Today, our significant tornado parameter values are looking a little questionable. We do have a boundary in place, and if any supercells can stay along or east of it, we could see a more serious tornado risk in Texas. It's one of those days where you've got to watch those late afternoon and evening storms closely. There's also a shot at an isolated storm or 2 firing after sunset near the Red River, and if that happens, the tornado risk could stay elevated into the evening. As for Sunday, morning storms could help stabilize the atmosphere, but if we get breaks in the clouds and enough heating, storms should reinitiate by lunchtime. The tornado risk will pick up in eastern Oklahoma, southwest Missouri, and northwestern Arkansas by early afternoon, and then gradually shift north and east through the day. The setup looks messy again, though, with a lot of storms potentially firing in clusters, which could limit how many tornadoes we see. But if any discrete supercells can get going, those will be the ones to watch. By Sunday evening, storms will push into central and western Illinois, and the severe threat will start to wind down by late evening and overnight as things move further into the Midwest. Beyond this weekend, things get a bit murkier. I do think we'll get a brief, quieter stretch of weather Monday and Tuesday as the system finally pulls away. But by Wednesday and Thursday, we could see the return of scattered severe storms. Nothing super organized just yet, but there's a potential for some hail, damaging winds, and even a tornado or 2, mainly across the southern and central plains. So we're not done with severe weather season yet, not by a long shot. April and May are typically our busiest months for severe weather, so we'll need to stay on alert as we get into the last part of April and head into May. And lastly, don't forget about the flooding threat. We're expecting a widespread swath of 3 to 6 inches of rainfall from North Texas up through southern and central Missouri, with some areas potentially getting even more. That's going to be a big issue for places like Missouri and Arkansas, where the ground is already saturated. Turn around, don't drown if you come across flooded roadways. It doesn't take much water to sweep a car away. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click that bell icon. Thanks for watching, and see you next one.